This is the main event, Mark's podcast on the Unhinged Sports Network. I'm your first host, lifelong wrestling fan and former radio guy, Troy. And with me, as always, is the WWE Walking Wrestling Encyclopedia and the main event collector. He is the Owen Hart to my British Bulldog, the two-time Marquee Award-winning Greg. What's up, Greg?
Woo!
You are not a nugget.
My nose isn't big enough to be Owen Hart.
I look like a damn aardvark. Man, we landed on this show. I think it is a forgotten in your house today, ladies and gents. We're talking about good friends, better enemies. I don't know. There aren't a lot of in your house events, I think, that really pop out at people where they're like, oh yeah, that one. And this one, I don't know. There was some stuff on it. It's definitely a lot of interesting asides and whatever, whether the matches were good or not. But the main event.
I think this is as you said, forgotten classic. But I also think it's like, if you really watch it, you really got like early shades of the Attitude Era.
Yeah, I had some of that in there. Definitely a lot. I mean, it had all the hallmarks of because when I was a kid renting videotapes, it was a lot of new generation stuff, like pre-Attitude Era, and you had all the staples of that new generation in here. Skip and Zip, the Godwins, Goldust in his early run with Marlena. Just I
mean, we'll get to it, but there's an incident in the main event that was like a first time ever to me at that point. Like, wow.
Oh,
definitely
yeah.
Something you'd see in 1998. So, and again, we'll get to it. But
yeah, I mean,
when I watched this back, I was like, oh, I forgot about that. That was insane.
And when you watch this, yeah, I forgot about that too. Because I knew that it happened, I just didn't know it was on this card. So, but you see kind of remnants of the golden era, golden age, whatever you want to call it, and then you got a bunch of new generation, and then yeah, like you said, shades of what would become the Attitude Era. So it was a nice combo in here, and there's a lot going on in the year 1996.
Yeah,
transitioning. Yeah, but we'll get into all of that. We're going to take our first break here. When we come back, we'll dive into the news and notes. And since this is an in your house event, it's not very long. So, you know, we got a lot of news to cover. The show itself, there's some notes about the matches, but you know, what was it? Little over 2 hours long, right? 2.5 hours.
That was when they were glorified, we'll call it super episodes of Raw at that time.
Was Raw 1 hour at this point, or had it gone to 2?
What is this, 96?
Yeah. I can't remember.
I want to say it's 2.
Okay. So that I don't think that was. I think that was fairly new then, if it was 2 hours.
I'm almost certain too. This is probably not the last one, but it's like one of the last ones that was ever this length, and they went to 3 hours eventually.
Right. Yeah, and we're going to be covering the next In Your House after this one. We'll be covering that next month. And boy, there's a lot to get into with that one as well. But this one is Good Friends, Better Enemies. We'll talk about all the news and notes from the time on the other end of this break. Real quick, we are sponsored by Fanatics and Fubo TV. Click on the links down in the description. We will talk about them more in the commercial breaks. But Fanatics has all of your officially licensed sports gear from NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, PGA, NASCAR, and the NCAA, and Fubo TV will help you cut the cord, and they'll provide you over 100 channels, cloud DVR, and no early cancellation fees. So sign up for your free trial today. We'll be back on the other side of this break with news and notes. Follow the Main Event Marks at Facebook.com/Main Event Marks Pod, on Twitter at Main Event _Marks, and on Instagram at Main Event _Marks and at Main Event Collector. It's the very best of professional wrestling's past every Monday on
Retro Wrestling Review.
I'm your host, Troy, and together we'll hop on my time-traveling wrestling ring and watch along to the greatest matches from yesteryear in the sport of kings.
As complex, as controversial, and as brilliant, really, as he is.
On Triple R, we'll cover matches from across the world, including American territories, Canada, Mexico, and Japan.
Fast action, lots more than that.
You'll learn some things, find out about wrestlers and matches you never even knew about, and we'll have some laughs. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Retro Wrestling Pod. Retro Wrestling Review is available wherever you get podcasts, including YouTube, served up fresh every Monday morning.
Unbelievable! The crowd absolutely stunned!
The main event marks are available wherever you get podcasts and on YouTube. Now back to the show.
All right, we are back. Time to dive into the news from late April of 1996. This was a makeup show here because what was I thinking of that wasn't on Peacock that I had scheduled? Do you even remember?
I don't even remember, but I'm glad we did this one.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was we had scheduled that I had to scrap
This
it.
is May?
Oh, I remember. No, April. It was the Nitro reboot from 2000.
Ah,
That
yes.
was it. Yeah, and we'll cover that eventually
I think this
down
is
the
probably
line.
better.
Yeah, I mean that show wasn't great. I mean it was just
I think after the opening segment we would have got a little bit bored.
probably, and I do want to cover it eventually, just because there's a lot to talk about in April of 2000 in WCW. But we'll save that for a later date. Peacock's pouring in new stuff week by week, month by month, so we'll get to it maybe next year, whichever. But this was late April, and I didn't plan it that way. I just had to move around the schedule, and oddly enough, it just kind of landed on the perfect time. So we are.
I'm actually shocked we've never done this one.
Yeah, I know, right? We are 25 years removed, so it's an anniversary there. We're I can't believe it's 25 years ago. I have to go reevaluate my life. But anyway.
I watched this live. Screw you.
I could have watched it live. I just didn't watch wrestling at this time. I was a little young. Either way, WCW Nitro is expected to get destroyed by the WWF in the TV ratings for the rest of the month because the time slot for Nitro is getting bounced around due to the NBA playoffs on TNT.
Spoiler, it does not.
Oh, it doesn't?
Nah, this is in the midst of 83 weeks, I believe. Or maybe the start of it.
Yeah, because they broke it in April of 98. So, I don't know. They went all through 97, not losing a single week. So,
they did lose. I guarantee it was only by like a half a point.
Yeah. Well, this one, what's funny is, you flash forward, 25 years, and another wrestling program is being preempted by the NBA playoffs.
Yep.
I mean, not currently, I don't think, but was it last year that they had their time slot bounced around because of the NBA?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to happen all the time because it's the NBA.
Yeah. Right, yeah.
It will bring more viewers than, anything other than football. But
right. The NBA brings in more viewers than baseball?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. See, I don't pay attention to the ratings, so I didn't. I mean, I do here and there, but not enough to know. I didn't know baseball was down that much. Well, speaking of WCW here, Hulk Hogan will be taking time off from WCW to go film a movie. The tentative plan is for Hogan to return in August to face either Scott Hall or Kevin Nash, although that plan will probably change 50 times between now and then.
Oh, man.
Who was it that he came back to feud with? Was it? I mean,
no, he came back.
I know.
We hadn't.
I know.
Well, we literally hadn't seen him before then, though. No, I'm just saying, though. Like they always leave that tidbit off when they're talking about history. Like, we hadn't seen Hogan in months, so.
Yeah. So what was he filming in?
I was about to ask
summer
you
'96.
Say,
I don't think it was Mr. Nanny because came out.
That had been gone.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Muscles.
It wasn't Three Ninjas.
I think that was coming up the next year. Wait.
Okay, then the only thing I could think of would be Assault on Devil's Island. That was a TNT exclusive. So.
Yeah, I really don't know.
I would assume it's Assault on Devil's Island.
You know what's funny is, you know how I was talking a couple of weeks ago about like how The Rock has made so many movies now. He actually has a filmography page just to himself. Well, Hogan does not. He just has like a little section on his wiki page. Let's see, 96. Okay, in 96 he came out with Santa with Muscles. So I don't know if he was filming it. And then he had a gap. He didn't do because in 96 he had Spy Hard.
See what comes out after December of this year.
Nothing comes out in 97 at all. And in 98, he has Mackenzie's Island and Three Ninjas High Noon at Mega Mountain. So it might have been Three Ninjas.
Where's Assault on Devil's Island? Do you see that?
I do not.
It might not be on there because it was a TV movie.
Yeah, I'm
fairly certain that's what it was.
Assault on Death Mountain. Oh, never mind. Assault on Devil's Island. Yeah, it came out in 97. Yeah, TV film.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah, so that's a hell of a thing to take time off from Nitro. I wonder what kind of ratings it pulled in.
I remember them having a whole promo on Nitro about it doing gangbusters, but I don't know if that was legit or not.
I've never even heard of it. I mean, it was kind of, it was a TV movie before my time, so,
It was clearly corny, but I had fun watching it.
I don't think Hulk Hogan's been in anything that wasn't corny. So I don't know. The Giant won the WCW title on a Nitro taping that will air next week. It won't air live because Eric Bischoff and several other WCW stars will be in Japan. The Giant is only 24, and this makes him one of the youngest people to ever win that title. Lou Thesz is the youngest, winning it back when he was 21, back in 1937. However, the Giant is the first wrestler to ever win it in his rookie year. So, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that one, though. I believe he beat Macho Man. I don't even think it was an advertised match, if I remember correctly. And if it was, I didn't see it. So
I'm a little shocked that they're including Lou Thesz in this because it's like they had broke off from the NWA years ago. So, I mean, this is not – I mean, the Big Gold was considered the NWA title at one point, but it wasn't for years. I mean, the NWA title is out there somewhere else. I mean, yeah, it doesn't matter at this point, but it's like – I mean, unless they're just lumping in all world champions ever.
Well, that gold belt is spun off from that, so they're probably
doing. That's the only thing I can think of. But this one's, I think he's in WWE at this point. Is Brian Pillman in WWE or in WCW right now?
Yeah. I think he just did the whole thing at Super Brawl.
Okay. Booker Man. So. That's right, yeah. So he's still here. He hadn't quite. That's right, because he's still injured.
Actually, he might be right in between. He might be in ECW at this point.
No, I think he's about to pop up because I remember. Well, you'll see from the story, but I remember when he popped up in ECW, he was on crutches with his foot all wrapped up. So
when he was going to whip out his Johnson and take a piss right here in this ring,
and he dropped the N-word. So
did he really?
Yeah, that's why he dropped the N-word during his promo. That's why they literally had to hold New Jack backstage. That was one time where he had an actual gripe with somebody and could claim for all the world to see, hey, he said it. Not
right,
just,
but no one said it to him. He says everybody says it to him. So
that's true.
Not excusing him, just saying, just going off of what he says.
Right. They called me the N-word, so I stabbed him in the ring. Like, does everybody just whip out the N-word to you? Because wow, man, that seems a little weird. But anyway, Brian Pillman was released from the hospital last week, 4 days after suffering numerous serious injuries in a car accident. When police and medics arrived on the scene of the accident, Pillman had lost so much blood that they initially believed he wouldn't survive. His face was so swollen. I know. Well, his face was so swollen that his own sister couldn't identify him at the hospital, and he spent the first 3 days in the hospital in the burn unit. The worst injury was a completely crushed ankle, and they had to remove a bone from his hip to use in the surgery to reconstruct it. He also suffered a broken nose, fractured cheekbone, and dislocated jaw, and had facial surgery to fix all of that, and currently has his jaw wired shut. Pillman wasn't wearing his seatbelt, which probably saved his life in this case, and he would have been crushed inside the vehicle otherwise. Pillman had plastic surgery and 4 steel plates put in his face, and he was released from the hospital. He still has one more surgery to go, and they'll eventually need to remove the steel rod that was put into his ankle after the first ankle surgery. Good Lord, that's a lot to digest.
I've always found it crazy that his worst injury was an ankle injury out of a freaking car crash.
Yeah, from what I had heard, and I'm sure, because is it the season premiere of Dark Side of the Ring that's going to be on Pillman?
I think so.
Yeah, so I'm sure they'll get into, well, I know they'll get into all of this on there, but supposedly his ankle was turned all the way around to where his foot faced behind him.
Damn, man.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Sounds made up.
I know. And this is the second story, by the way. You know, and this is a weird stat because I only remember this because you commented on it. It's like, how many times do you hear the phrase, him not wearing a seatbelt probably saved his life?
Yeah.
Because we said that about Eddie Guerrero during his wreck, because it threw him out of the car and into a tree, but he, like, not into the side of the tree, but, like, up into the branches, so it, like, caught him. Man, you want to talk about, somebody looking down on you. Good grief.
It wasn't time.
Getting into ECW now, we actually have a lot of ECW news here. Or, well, not a lot, but more than usual. So there's that.
Should we apologize in advance?
Maybe. This first one, I remember the story. I forgot that it was around this time. ECW had what is believed to be pro wrestling's first lesbian moment. Beulah revealed
of course.
Beulah revealed that she was never pregnant and that she had been cheating on Tommy Dreamer with Kimona Wanalea. The two women started making out, which got a huge pop. Go figure. And then Tommy Dreamer started kissing both of them and left the ring with them to go have, quote, a new kind of three-way dance. Good Lord.
He said, and I quote, I can take them both. I'm hardcore. This is the product that people like.
Well, that segment of ECW TV did not air on the MSG network because they cut it out for censoring purposes. Yeah. This was back in a time, by the way, where you had to censor lesbian moments. Different time, man.
This is what people want, bro.
I just, yeah. This was the start. I think this was the first thing of in pro wrestling of, crap, we booked this woman to be pregnant, but she's not going to give birth. So now what do we do? Oh, she just lied.
Could have had a fat suit or something.
Yeah. Well, it's like they've had one miscarriage, one teased miscarriage, but then she came out and said, no, I was never pregnant. And didn't they have something with, was it Lana in the last couple of years where she said she was pregnant?
I think so.
Or, I can't remember. There was somebody, I swear. But either way. Yeah, so this, like, I don't know, why do they keep doing this? It doesn't end well. Like, I like how
it cares, bro.
I liked how, I guarantee, I can almost go, like, down Paul Heyman's, like, thinking here when he's booking this. He's like, well, she's not going to give birth, sir, but if I may have another volley, the crowd will not be so angry if we have her kiss another woman.
A drunk Philly crowd, oh, man. He played that one well.
They're like, Paul, how do we have her? They're going to be pissed off because, we don't have a payoff to this. So what do? Have them make out, sir.
I know it would get me off, sir.
Yeah, right. Oh, my gosh. Anyway, ECW banned blading, which is something I never thought I would say. But after Tommy Morris...
Yeah, you can still bleed the hard way, though. And we're going to film it, but just,
Well, yeah, just no, purposeful. No blading where you cut yourself, but others may cut you. So that's fine. That's what the hell. But they banned blading after the Tommy Morris HIV story. Do you know who Tommy Morris is?
Don't.
Okay.
Tommy Morris?
Yeah, Tommy Morris' son. Excuse me.
Oh, I believe that was the villain from Rocky V.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It took me. That's Tommy. Wait, his real name is Tommy Morrison?
I believe so. Yeah. I think he just died recently too.
Ah, man, that sucks. Yeah. See, now I.
What was the incident?
He had HIV.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
American boxer. I'm going to assume that's it. Yeah, it was. And okay, yeah, he retired from boxing in 1996 when he tested positive for HIV. So there you go. Tommy Gunn.
Tommy the Machine Gun.
Oh yes, that's right.
I'm
Rocky
not a damn
Robot. Oh my gosh. Anyway, but this week, Raven and one of the Bruise brothers, who was what were they into? The Blue Brothers, Skull and 8 Ball.
Yeah, Jacob and Eli Blue, Skull and 8 Ball, Creative Control.
Yeah,
Big Ron,
Pat and Gerald.
Heavy D. Yeah, Pat and Gerald. Yeah.
Yep. So
all
those guys who may or may not be Nazis, like real life Nazis, not the fake kind.
You can say they're in the Aryan Brotherhood or something like that.
Yeah, supposedly they have Aryan Brotherhood tattoos, which I don't know.
Not touching that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a rumor. Why is there a rumor and innuendo?
Holy crap.
But yeah, supposedly they're supposedly shoot Nazis, not working Nazis. Because Fritz von Erich, he was a working Nazi, not a shooting Nazi.
Where do you get Nazis for wrestling?
That store that Germany doesn't like to talk about. Okay, it's just you don't talk about it, and they don't either. All right. Anyway,
wow. Holy crap. Not what I thought, but okay.
Yeah, this is bad that I just talked about. They may or may not be Nazis, and I'm talking about Paul Heyman, who is Jewish. But here we go. Anyway.
I'm not gonna lie, I never would have pieced that together, so
yeah.
This is on you.
Well, Raven, who is also Jewish, and one of the Bruise brothers were both accidentally busted open during matches. Paul Heyman said that for insurance reasons, he's not even considering bringing blading back right now. However, Heyman did say that he overestimated how big the Tommy Morrison story would end up being, and admitted that blading will probably return to ECW eventually. Spoilers. Yeah, it did.
Because it's what ECW needed. You can't get over without bleeding hardcore.
Well, of course. Duh. I mean, it's if you got
sucked. Sorry.
God dang it, they must bleed, pal. Keeping on that same vein or whatever. I should have picked a better word. Paul Heyman suspended the Bruise brothers for 3 weeks after an incident where one of them threw a chair into the crowd and hit a fan.
Dude, that's so messed up, man. It's going to cost him at least $50.
I know, right? Man, it's like, I want $1 million. If I may have another volley, sir, here are some coupons to McDonald's. I'll take it. Good grief. Here's a half-used food stamp card. Take it. I'm sorry. That's just, wow. Why was that always a thing in ECW? Crap was getting thrown in the crowd, or including bodies, and people were getting hurt. Stupid.
I don't know, but like a lot of the documentaries you ever see and stuff will have you believe that fans loved it.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, I don't know how many lawsuits there were against ECW. They kept that kind of hush-hush, so I don't know if they did or not. Last ECW story here. JT Smith was injured, quote, because Devon Dudley didn't know how to give a chair shot without killing anyone, end quote. And a week later, Smith's ears are still ringing from Devon stiffing him with the chair. At the next show, Devon overcompensated by giving really weak chair shots that looked terrible.
Damned if you do.
I like how Bubba Ray never puts his hands up. Like, he always said, he's like, oh, it looks better if I just take it with my head. And it's like, yeah, like, do you want to die? Like, what the hell?
Bro, he's going to die. He's going to get a pop.
Wow. We're just going to kill him with a chair, bro.
Nobody cares about the Dudleys, bro.
They always said that. They kept having to tell Bully Ray or Bubba Ray or whatever incarnation he was. They're like, can you please try to at least block some of the chair with your hands? Don't just take it full force with your damn head.
I'm going to block it with my face.
Oh, man. We're going to Mexico for this one. I thought this one was kind of funny, so I had to include it. Of the 24 AAA wrestlers who were suspended a few weeks ago in Tijuana by the Athletic Commission, all have been reinstated except for Conan. The suspension was due to a lumberjack match where all the wrestlers were outside the ring brawling with chairs and other weapons, which the commission believed endangered the fans. At a later hearing, pretty much all of the wrestlers pointed the finger at Conan and said that he was the one who told them to use chairs and brawl with each other because
What the hell?
Apparently he booked the show. So, because when I first read that, I was like, wait, what? Until
I believe he booked the show. I believe he might even been responsible for it. But man, to throw him right under the bus like that.
I know they're like, he did it.
That's pretty messed up.
Yeah,
what
since
is
he
this?
booked the show, he's
I keep
suspended.
forgetting the year. 1996.
Yeah.
He's on his way to WCW anyway, so he probably didn't lose any sleep. Nor did he lose any money.
Yeah, I mean, he might have told them to do it because he was like, I'm out of here anyways. So
I have no doubt he might have probably. It's just like, wow, man, he just threw him right under that damn bus. It's screw you.
Well, plus it was like, do you want 24 guys suspended or one guy suspended? So that, I mean, that probably would have crippled him at that point. So I'm sure Conan was like, whatever, I'll take the heat. I just love that though. They're like, he did it.
I was just doing what I was told, man.
Yeah, right. Man, I'm just brawling so I don't get fined, man. Getting into the WCW or the WWF stuff.
Nice usage though.
Yeah, right. We got 3 WWF stories here. This first one, I remember hearing about this. It still makes me laugh. WWF's 900 hotline pulled a somewhat sleazy move as they teased telling fans to call in to hear what Davey Boy Smith and Magic Johnson have in common. Naturally, that started rumors that Smith has HIV, which of course is not true. The payoff was saying that, quote, they both had altercations with referees recently.
Oh my God.
Like, normally I'd be like, whatever. But the worst part about this is, like, WWF went on this campaign about, like, Scheme Gene, and he's screwing people out of their money with that WCW hotline. Hey, what does Davey Boy Smith and Magic Johnson have in common?
Nobody's ever going to say anything other than HIV for Magic Johnson, unfortunately.
I know.
Not
Either
all of
that
his world titles, not like all the philanthropy stuff he does. Nope, they're going to go straight to that, and that's pretty messed up.
I would even accept, like, oh, he's a multi-time world champion, or he won multiple titles in Los Angeles, or, something like that. But this one was, like, so damn obscure. He had an altercation with a ref? Okay.
And this is 1996. I think he was already done with basketball at this time, so...
Yeah. Whatever. Bam Bam Bigelow's upset and claims that WWF promised him an unconditional release in exchange for him putting over Goldust on pay-per-view a while back. After Bigelow did it, WWF did give him his release, but it did have the condition that he could not work for WCW, which is what he planned to do. So for now, Bigelow can work anywhere except WCW until October. I believe he went to ECW, didn't he?
He did. That was the formation of the Triple Threats.
Yeah, so it's like he wanted WCW and he goes there. All right.
Hey, remember, he was on the very last ever episode of Nitro. So.
Yeah, taking on Shawn freaking Stasiak.
A.K.A. Meat.
Yeah, a.k.a. Perfection.
Yeah, damn right. I don't know why you say that sarcastically, but whatever.
He was also, I mean, I remember when he wasn't his debut in WCW when he popped up at like World War III to fight with Goldberg.
Yeah. That was later though. 99.
Yeah, okay.
2000 or maybe 2000. No, wait. No, he was feuding with them at Starrcade, or going into Starrcade when he lost the title to Nash. Never mind. Yeah.
Yeah, so because I remember we reviewed that World War III now in the archives, and I was like, what the hell? Yeah, I was like, what the hell? Bigelow's like hopping the railing like and dressed like a bum, and you're like, yeah, he was trying to feud with Goldberg.
Right. Yeah, I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
Oh, he lasted there for a while.
Yeah, right. It's like, if you want to go to, did Paul like really tie you down that bad, or did you just like it in ECW for whatever effing reason? And the funny thing was, we just talked about last week how he was in ECW so long, he goes to WCW and he damn near gets seriously injured in that frickin' that junkyard brawl or whatever.
Didn't he say it almost took his life somehow? No, that was Finley.
Yeah, Finley got Finley Bigelow and Raven got seriously injured in that damn thing. There was probably others, but those were the three that come to mind. Ugh. What show was that on? Was it Uncensored?
Uncensored, I believe, 2000?
Yeah.
99? 99 maybe.
We got to review that show sometime, just cause.
Mark it down, next March.
Yeah. All right, final story here, and this because it leads into the pay-per-view. Goldust's knee injury is a torn MCL. He's expected to still work his match against Ultimate Warrior at In Your House, but probably won't do much and will have to take some time off after that. He's still told that he can rehab the knee and he probably won't need surgery, but he will have to be out of action for a little while.
Okay, let me see here. He goes on to face Ahmed Johnson at King of the Ring after this. Then he's at the what was Beware of Dog? That was after this. Okay, so
yeah, Beware of Dog is the next show.
So he doesn't go away right away.
Wow.
Yeah, because I know he works. He works until at least King of the Ring, because he faces Ahmed Johnson.
Dustin's a hell of a trooper, man. I'll say that. But and we'll get into his quote unquote match on the show. But yeah, so that's all I got for news. I guess we should take our next break here.
Was there any mention of Nash leaving?
I mean, it's talked about. We'll talk about it a little bit once we get into the show. There's a little bit about it.
You did mention that the according to Uncle Douche that he was going to wrestle one of them, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. Okay, so I guess it was known that he was leaving. So I guess the news kind of broke a while before this. I'm not sure exactly when it came out. It's like, yeah, he's definitely leaving. So either way, we're going to take our next break. When we come back, we're going to dive into the event at hand. And just letting you know, if you're not listening on the Unhinged Sports Network, you should be. It's unhingedsn.eartime.pro. And
it is free, by the way.
Yeah, it is. You just go on the website, listen to it, stream the audio. If you were coming in late, we air Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, and we air a replay right after the show ends at 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. And we got replays on Thursday and Monday, both at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific p.m., by the way. That's all unhingedsn.eartime.pro. And if we have a bonus show, we always drop it on the podcast feed on a Friday. But if you want to listen live, we always put that in place of our replay on Mondays. So Monday at 8, like this past week, we had, as of the dropping of the show, our latest bonus show for April dropped this past Monday on Unhinged. And also, if you're listening to the podcast on the podcast feeds, subscribe and leave a review. It will help us get seen. And please spread the word about the podcast. We'll get into the show right after this.
Follow the Main Event Marks at facebook.com/Main Event Marks Pod, on Twitter at Main Event _Marks, and on Instagram at Main Event _Marks and at Main Event Collector.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. My name is Thomas, and what's your name?
I'm Alan.
Alan.
Yeah. We're brothers.
That's right.
Yeah. Same mother and father.
Your room was...
We shared a room.
Shared a room.
We shared a room.
Thought I knew your face.
Yeah, we go way back, mate. Yeah.
We should do a podcast then.
We have.
We do a podcast.
We do a podcast.
What's it called?
The Broadcast. Yeah, that was planned.
Yeah. Well.
What do we do?
Well, we cover all different things in the world of pop culture. We're talking about comic books, we're talking about professional wrestling, and we're talking about movies. Go back and watch classic retro wrestling events, the likes of WWE, WCW, and if you do like that, you can check us out on Apple iTunes, also on Podbean, Anchor, and on Podknife. Also check us out on Twitter at The Broadcast. That's BROKAST. Nearly stuffed up the ending.
No, it's all right. Good on you.
Yeah. Instagram also at The Broadcast Podcast.
Remember, we don't spell it with a C. We spell it with a K.
Sorry, mate.
Take it easy.
The Main Event Marks are available wherever you get podcasts and on YouTube. Now back to the show.
All right, we're back for WWF In Your House 7, Good Friends, Better Enemies. I like how, by the way, like most of these were they just kept saying the next In Your House show. And then it's like it didn't get its name until like the week of, maybe 2 weeks before. Because this
wrestling.
Yeah, because I remember specifically like this one, they kept talking about the next In Your House, which would be Beware of Dog. But Bulldog is not even the number one contender yet. So we don't know that that's even going to happen. Then they do a little teaser later on in the show that we'll get into. But the date was April 28th, 1996 at the Omaha Civic Auditorium in Omaha, Nebraska.
I'd have to do some research, but it's maybe the only pay-per-view ever in Omaha.
I wouldn't doubt it. They didn't do a terrible number. I mean, I don't know what the total, like what the capacity was, but they got in 9,563 fans, so not bad actually. That's more than what they pull in whenever they come to Dayton. The pay-per-view buy rate was a .65, so not great. But In Your Houses, I don't think In Your Houses usually pulled in great numbers. They were just a little extra money. But all right.
They were also only like $15 too.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they were shorter shows, cheaper, and they still had the tentpole events. They had, they had Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, King of the Ring, SummerSlam, and Survivor Series. And those were the 5 like pay-per-views, and then the big ones. And yeah, the In Your Houses were just to kind of get you through to the next one. And they would usually only have like maybe 2 big matches. If you're lucky, you got like a 3rd big match, and the rest were just kind of like, yeah, these guys are in a feud. We'll throw them on there. But this one, the opening package shows Diesel lost the WWF title to Bret Hart. Bret Hart lost it to Shawn Michaels. And then Diesel turned on his friend Shawn Michaels so that he could get a shot at the WWF title. Excuse me, opportunity, pal. God dang it.
Also, I think it's worth noting this happened at a house show. I'm turning on them.
Yeah, because I was like looking at the camera quality. I'm like, is that shot with like, it wasn't cell phone camera back. It was just like those big ass camcorders.
I never understood why this happened on a house show, like to this day.
Well, why did Diesel's championship reign begin at a freaking house show?
I don't know.
Yeah, a couple big things for Diesel happened at the curtain call. I know that wasn't booked, but another thing happened at an MSG house show. Oh man. But anyway, they paint Shawn as the ultimate underdog against Big Daddy Cool. We start off with British Bulldog coming to the ring with Owen Hart, Jim Cornette, and Clarence Mason. Quite the motley crew.
Because that made sense.
Right. And he's going to face Jake the Snake Roberts one-on-one. A recap video shows Roberts throwing up his pet snake on Bulldog, and Bulldog freaked out. He like freaking gator rolled with that snake on him, by the way. I was like, man, you almost killed it. That wouldn't be the first snake that Jake would have killed, but whatever.
Well, it was okay when he threw Matilda on people all the time, though.
Wow. So now Clarence Mason is showing the ref that he's got a court injunction to prevent Jake from having his snake at ringside. By the way,
sexual innuendo in 3, 2, 1. Okay.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Get that snake out of here, and that thing in the bag too. But the thing I didn't like about this was, if you're in the crowd, you just kind of have to figure out what the hell's going on. They don't really explain any of this to you. King was the only one. He's on commentary. He's like, I think he's got a court injunction there. I think he's telling the ref. And it's like, why are you having to explain this to us?
Yeah, I didn't piece that together, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it was kind of, I'm like, the people in the crowd are probably like, the F is going on. I mean, you can.
I'd have to go back and watch one of the old Raws, but he might have done like a whole thing where I'm going to present a court injunction before the match.
McMahon acted like he was confused, but I don't know. I really don't.
Damn it, did McDivitt give you that?
Yeah, gosh. But Jake walks up to him and he rips the papers up. And he throws it. And he grabs his snake and he throws it towards the heels. Cornette takes a back bump and he passes out. And so Jake takes his snake to the back. Clarence Mason finally helps Cornette to the back. I love that. Wipe me down. It touched me. Like, holy crap. But Cornette was hilarious, man. But Clarence Mason helps Cornette to the back, and then Jake comes back out with Ahmed Johnson, and I was just like, what is going? Like, I'm so lost throughout all of this. But I guess it made sense because Bulldog injure his hand? Was it?
Yeah, I think he broke his finger or something.
Yeah, it was the thumb. Yeah, he broke his thumb, and so he had the whole thing taped up. Which, by the way, he didn't sell at all during this. Not to spoil anything.
Because he's a man.
I will say this. We can say whatever the hell we want about, he wasn't a great wrestler or even a good wrestler, and he was horrible on the mic, but hot damn was he over.
Yeah, he was.
That music hits, and I mean, the music has something to do with it because that was a badass theme. But Ahmed Johnson's theme hits, he walks his sweaty ass out, and the crowd just blows. I'm like,
I was a huge fan of his when I was a kid, too. If I'm being honest,
Yeah, I was too. Like, well, and as a kid, I really didn't care if they were good wrestlers. I was just like, he looks cool and he's got a cool theme. But the one-on-one match now magically turns into a tag team match. So here we go. It's oh man, if they were employing him at the time. But it's British Bulldog and Owen Hart versus Jake Snake Roberts and Ahmed Johnson in just under 14 minutes. British Bulldog keeps tagging out to Owen, not wanting to fight Johnson specifically. In the end, Bulldog grabs Cornette's tennis racket because he left that behind, and he repeatedly hits Jake Roberts' left knee with it, or one of his knees, behind the referee's back. He then grabs the leg and he yanks on it. It's like he was trying. Well, it was working the leg, but it looked like he was gonna lock in a single leg crab, but he didn't turn it. He just pulled the leg up and just held.
I felt it was very awkward. I'm like, what's going on here? It's just two little kids play fighting.
I know. And Jake just taps out. And I'm like, okay. Apparently the reason for this switch, by the way, was Bulldog had a messed up knee, so he couldn't go the full match they wanted him to.
Oh, it's a good thing he's about to be in the main event the next show.
I know, right? That's also why Owen worked most of the match. Like I said, Ahmed didn't sell his hurt hand at all, even though it was taped up. And Jake just looked horrible. Like, he was in bad shape, which is why they kept him in a vest while he wrestled. Uncle Dave gave this 1 3/4 stars. I gave it 2.5. I thought it was average. What say you?
I gave it 1. I didn't like it.
Oh, wow.
It's like, yeah.
I didn't think it was
some more decent
terrible.
Stuff is coming from all these guys eventually this year, so.
Had Jake already done the feud with Lawler, or was that coming?
No, it's coming up. He's actually just returned to WWE at this point, at the Royal Rumble.
I don't know if it just didn't come across on TV or what, but I don't know if you heard this either. But when right before Jake is getting ready to come out, freaking Vince McMahon does his best sell job, and he's going nuts. He's like, "Get ready for the roof to blow off!" And then his theme hits, and the crowd's like, "Yay!" I'm like, oh.
Go back and watch his re-debut at the Royal Rumble. I think he does the same thing.
Get ready for the roof to blow off, and they're like, "Oh, cool." Come on, Vince. I mean, whatever. Vince was so overly excitable. I'll say that. He makes Michael Cole look like he's tame. Speaking of tame, we got a very, very long plug for the WWF hotline, where you can hear Wild Man Mark Mero and the 1-2-3 Kid talking crap to each other. Seems like a great way to spend your money. Because, if there are two guys I want to hear trash talk to each other for minutes on end, it's Mark effing Mero and Shawn Waltman.
Can't tell if you're being serious or not, because I would pay money for that.
This was when did he go to WCW to become 6?
Right after Fall Brawl this year.
Ah, okay. Yeah, because he's already growing the goatee. He's letting his hair go, frizzy. He's clearly given up on the old, fresh face kid look. But a clip is shown from earlier at the Free for All, which was their pre-show, where the Ultimate Warrior is cutting a promo in his locker room. Marlena walks up and blows cigar smoke in his face, and then Goldust walks up with a handful of glitter and blows it in his face before running away. The Warrior shouts and beats his chest because, that's a normal response. He's like, I can't see. And he like beats his chest. I'm like, what the hell did I watch? I will say this. I liked this look for Warrior, like the multicolored, like
me too.
weird paint.
There's a figure that's out. I'm waiting for it. And I got it late, so I got to wait till July. But
I have a Jax figure of this look of the Warrior, actually.
I have that Jax figure too, but the Porcelain Mattel one's light years better, which I need. So
right, yeah. This one though, I don't know why I never noticed this. Warrior has a tattoo, like a big ass bicep tattoo. I never noticed that. Like, all right. But either way, we get this. I guess it's a match. It's Goldust with Marlena and the Bodyguard taking on the Ultimate Warrior. He's defending the Intercontinental title against the Warrior. It goes just over 7.5 minutes. Yeah. Well, Goldust comes to the ring for his match with Marlena and a mystery man who is Mantar, cosplaying as Big Bubba Rogers. I mean, did you think that?
Yeah.
Because I was like, that's one of two people. That's either Mr. Hughes or Big Bubba.
Big effing Bubba.
And I had to look it up. I'm like, because I was looking at the card and I saw he had a Wikipedia page for the Bodyguard. I'm like, wait, who the hell is this guy? And I click on it and I'm like, that's Mantar.
At what point did they be like, we're done with this crap. You're going to be a bodyguard now.
Yeah, he traded in his hooves for some loafers.
Yeah, he traded up.
Yep, right. That's bad. Goldust has his left knee taped up because they claim he took a fall when he was running from the Warrior backstage on the free-for-all. Yeah. When Warrior's entrance starts, Vince McMahon jizzes all over himself and the front row. Like, he just loses his mind and blows it all over the damn place. I've never heard him oversell something so much in my life. I thought he was going to blow his voice out.
For all the crap people say, I don't think he ever hated the Warrior, even with the whole SummerSlam crap.
Nah, I don't think he hated him. I think he was annoyed with him, and he was like, God dang, just act like a normal human. He really did come from parts unknown. I'll say this, if he hated him, he wouldn't have paid him so much damn money.
Twice.
So, right. But, yeah, either way, Goldust gets so scared of the Warrior, he grabs Marlena, and they hightail it to the back. The Warrior picks up Marlena's cigar and puffs on it. Meanwhile, Vince McMahon is claiming, well, the Warrior doesn't smoke, so who are you going to believe? Vince McMahon or your lying eyes? How are you going to tell us I don't think he smokes while he is actively smoking in front of our face on camera?
It took me back to the empty arena match with the Rock at Mankind when Brock sipped the Jack Daniels. And
yeah.
He's like, that's not real alcohol. Real alcohol's never touched the Rock's lips.
Yeah. Yeah, so effing stupid.
Doesn't Dwayne Johnson now have like a tequila line?
I think he does. Yeah, some kind of alcohol. Good grief.
Oh, the irony.
I know. The Warrior takes Goldust's director's chair, sits in it, and puffs on Marlena's cigar as Goldust goes nuts. Goldust grabs the mic and threatens the crowd yet again with coming out there and kissing them all. So cool. I guess that's just his thing.
It's just borderline rape at this point.
I know. There are children in that audience. Like, he's threatening sexual assault. The Warrior is smoking indoors. Yeah. Smoking indoors, sexual assault, and family fun, baby.
Okay, you know what? Earlier when I mentioned this was the prelude to the Attitude Era, this is not what I meant.
Right.
But yeah, there you go. Oops. Just do it too.
Yep. Here's another one. Eventually, Goldust puts on his robe and he sits in the director's chair, telling the Warrior to kiss his hand. Warrior puts the cigar out on his hand instead, and then clotheslines him out of the chair. Goldust staggers off with Marlena, and they finally call the match. The Warrior now beats down Goldust's bodyguard before disrobing him and body slamming him. The Fink announces the Warrior is the winner via countout, but I don't think the match even started technically. And Vince McMahon was also confused, and he owns the company. Uncle Dave said that this wasn't just a worst match of the year candidate, but a candidate for the worst match of the decade. And he gave it negative 3.5 stars. I gave it -1, because if you're going to call this a match, it blew ass. What say you?
I gave it nothing because I didn't call it a match. So
Yeah, it's technically it's in the record books. So, but what the F? What is this? But anyway, backstage, Doc Hendricks is standing by as the British Bulldog is trying to push past a bunch of agents to get into Shawn Michaels' locker room. We will not learn more about this on the show, but it's coming.
yeah, it's actually on the video cassette. But like,
oh really?
I did like this whole thing because it was setting up the next pay-per-view, which I was like, that was pretty clever if you ask me.
Yeah.
It's like,
well,
we don't know what's going to happen. I mean, but the next pay-per-view main event's already basically set.
Well, this is coming to the infamous angle where the Shawn Michaels Diana Hart thing, or Diana Hart Smith, whatever, where Stu calls up and he calls up and he gets Jim Cornette, and Cornette thinks it's Owen playing a rib on him. So and Stu is sitting there. He's like, so why you making Diana look like a whore? and Cornette, like I said, thought it was Owen pranking him. So he's like saying all this like disgusting stuff. He's like, oh yeah, it's that disgusting pervert Bruce Pritchard. He wanted to bend her over and do all this stuff to her, and just going on this whole rant. And then Owen walks by and he's like, what the hell was that on the phone? And he's like, that was Stu. And he's like, what?
Sounds like a horrible scene in a comedy or something.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, because he hung up on him and he sees it, and then Stu calls back, and Bruce Pritchard answers the phone because he's like, oh, I've got to go by, and Bruce is like, oh, okay, and he answers the phone. He's like, hey, Stu, what's going on? He's like, you some kind of pervert. And he's like, what the hell's going on?
Oh man, don't worry, they're gonna give the Rhino a job.
Oh yeah, the Rhino's doing real good. Maybe you could put him under a mask. Call him Who. I think that already happened. Anyway, the build-up
This is 96. I don't even think he comes in. I don't think he's there in 96. I don't know where he's at.
Well, when did Who happen?
95.
Oh gosh.
Best year in wrestling, dude.
Yeah. We get the build-up package for the next match that shows Vader is a bad, bad man after injuring Yokozuna with repeated Vader bombs to Yokozuna's left leg. Was this the one where they forklifted his ass out of there?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, now we get Vader with Jim Cornette versus the bad guy, Razor Ramon. This is also his last show, if I remember correctly. Yeah, this one went just shy of 15 minutes. I thought it was pretty slow and boring. Vader looked way more out of shape than he ever did in WCW. In the end, Razor gets back body dropped out of a Razor's Edge attempt. Vader jumps up and sits down on his chest and then pins him. For some reason, Uncle Dave gave this 3.25 stars. I gave it 2.5 for average. What say you?
Did Cornette's check clear or something? I gave it 2.
Yeah.
It was interesting. I find it funny when you really look back on it. They essentially just traded Vader for Hall and Nash.
Yeah, kind of. And WCW got the better end of that deal. I like Vader. I really liked him in WCW, but I don't think he ever had a real... I can't say ever. He didn't have a lot of good matches in WWF.
SummerSlam match with Shawn was pretty good.
Yeah. Was that the one where he called him fat and told him to move?
Maybe.
I can't remember, because there was the one. That's the only one I remember, is where he goes for the elbow drop and Vader was supposed to move. So Shawn jumps off the top rope, lands on his feet, and looks down and yells, "Move!" And then kicks him, and he goes, "Move, you fat piece of crap!" And he kicks him.
Well, Vader knows he is. He would literally say it on pay-per-view later.
I know. Apparently, he took it even further, because he's like, "Well, I'm a fat piece of crap." I'm cleaning it up, by the way. But Bruce Pritchard said, yeah, he went even further with that than we told him to. We were like, yeah, you don't have to say all that. But okay. But him with Cornette just reminds me of the, Cornette talking about, and this has been corroborated by multiple people. They said he never washed his gear, so he stunk all the time, and his gloves were like flaking. And Cornette said he grabbed him like at one time and shook him. And he said he had to throw the blazer away because like black marks just went all down it from where he touched him.
Cornette should throw those ugly blazers away anyways.
I didn't even think about this. He said he got all that crap from Kentucky Derby season because they dress like that down for the Kentucky Derby, and he said
Wow.
he would always go shopping during that time to specifically to get ugly ass suits.
Does he live in Kentucky?
Yep. I want to say Louisville. He lives around Louisville, so. Well, hey, the devil went down to Kentucky. Anyway, next up.
Do atheists believe in the devil?
Well, no, of course not. But
Well, then,
I mean, he is the Antichrist of podcasting.
I don't think he ever wants to be called the Antichrist of anything. It's too close to, you know what?
Yeah, right. But Doc Hendricks talks with Jim Cornette and Vader outside of the ring now to let them know that WWF President Gorilla Monsoon has announced Vader's opponent at the next In Your House will be Yokozuna. Vader gets pissed and keeps shoving Cornette in anger before Cornette cuts a promo about Yoko, telling him that Vader's going to destroy him. And we'll watch that match, so I don't know if it's any good or not, but I'm going to assume during this time.
I don't remember off the top of my head right now. Like, I forgot that match even happened, so thought I watched that.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, I don't. Now I'm thinking it's like, did it happen or did Yoko like cash out at this time? I don't know. I know
Yokozuna lasts at least till SummerSlam because he wrestled Stone Cold Steve Austin on that pre-show. So
yeah, okay.
He's there through then at least.
Yoko, I felt kind of bad for him because they would always not always, I shouldn't say that. They a couple times whenever they would put him in a match against another like big guy who wasn't all that mobile, it always sucked. It was always boring. Like I'm just thinking about his match with King Mabel. You remember that?
Oh, God. That was one of the worst wrestling matches I've ever seen in my life.
Well, at least we got that cool meme of Mabel dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not even a bright side.
I know. I'm digging here, man. Anyway, we now get a promo for America Online where Paul Bearer and The Undertaker are answering questions under a blue light. This was very comical. I couldn't help but laugh at this. You remember America Online chats, man?
I had it.
Yeah, I had a few friends with AOL.com addresses. The three I remember growing up was Yahoo.com, AOL.com, and I think Juno.com.
Earthlink, too.
That was another one. Yeah. Last I knew, some people still had like a Time Warner email, but it's like Time Warner doesn't even technically exist anymore. Either way, up next we get the Body Donnas of Skip and Zip. There was Sunny, by the way.
I like that. The Body Donnas of Skip and Zip, as if there's others.
Well, But they're defending the WWF World Tag Team titles against the Godwins, Phineas I. Godwin and Henry O. Godwin, Pig and Hog. They have Hillbilly Jim in their corner.
This damn feud went on forever.
You think? This one, I'll get into it at the end of the match, but this went for just over 7 minutes. I love how Phineas is so poor and redneck that his wrist tape is duct tape. Did you catch that?
I did not catch that, but I guess it makes sense.
It's a nice little touch, I'll say. In the end, Sonny gives the whole thing here is that Phineas is obsessed with Sonny, which was just like an ongoing thing in every feud that involves Sonny. Do you realize that?
I did.
And in the end, Sonny gives Phineas an autographed picture of herself, distracting him. Hillbilly Jim chases her off with a slop bucket, and the ref gets distracted as Henry hits one of the Body Donnas with a slop drop. I don't know which one. The Body Donnas. Was Dr. Tom, was he Zip?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't even recognize him with his hair just buzzed and blonde.
That might have been as intense. And
yeah. Right. Is it sad that the only time he was a tag champion in WWE was as this?
Wait, wasn't he?
He was,
I guess
like
he was
Smoky
never
Mountain
WWE
champion.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, is the part of the Heavenly Bodies. Yeah.
Dr. Tom.
But he hits Zip with the slop drop, and the Body Donna switch spots, and Skip, who was Chris Candido, rolls Henry up for the win. Uncle Dave gave this 1 3/4 star. I just gave it 2 stars. What say you?
I gave it 2. It was like, it was watchable.
I don't think these guys, like, these two teams, I don't think they sucked. They just weren't any team that I really gave a crap about.
I do remember, I feel like they were shoved down our throats heavily in 1995.
Yeah. I just remember the story. I want to say it was Bruce Pritchard. It was somebody told the story about there was a time where they did slop Sonny, and they left the bucket in the locker room, and they made sure to make like a big announcement. They're like, "Hey, we're slopping Sonny with this tonight. Nobody mess with the bucket." Wink, wink. And it got filled with multiple bodily, fluids and whatnot. So there you go. Wrestling's weird.
And gross. And immature, too.
You don't say. How many stories are floating around out there about X-Pac and feces? Like, that right there, man. And that's only one dude. And I like when there's a story, when he has to clarify, he's like, "Oh, that one wasn't my poop." Like, cool. Like, so you were handling
my crap is everywhere, but I ain't taking responsibility for that one.
Yeah, it's like, well, that one, I mean, I did it, but that wasn't mine. It was somebody else. Like, oh gosh, that makes it worse. We now get a commercial for the next WWF in Your House event, which will end up being Beware of Dog, as we mentioned.
Beware of Dog 1 and 2.
Yeah, the 2-night event, and we'll talk about that more next month when we get into it. Doc Hendricks now interviews Wildman Mark Marrow backstage about his match next month. They've already booked this match for Beware of Dog against Hunter Hearst Helmsley. Marrow tells Helmsley off for messing with Sable and tells him that he's entering the jungle to answer the call of the wild. This gimmick is a huge departure from Johnny B. Bad in like every way, shape, and form.
I thought it worked.
It was okay, but like the thing is, after seeing him as Johnny B. Bad, you're like, what the F is this? It's like,
well,
especially
not Little Richard. That's who it is.
Especially when you know the backstory of Vince wanted Johnny B. Bad and found out he couldn't get the gimmick, so he gave him this. Like, all right. Like, his speech pattern was different, just like everything. And the complete opposite of flamboyant, by the way. But either way, now we get a build-up package again for Shawn Michaels versus Diesel. It's kind of like the opening package, but this one's longer, and it's got Todd Pettengill doing the voiceover. So there's that. It takes us through...
Very underrated hype man, by the way, I need to say.
I know.
He used to get me so freaking fired up and amped for pay-per-views. I don't care what anybody says. Voice. I think he is great.
Yeah. I mean, I always dug him, and I mean, growing up, like I talked about, I used to rent all the videotapes and stuff like that back in the day. Throw in your Google machine, VHS, and renting videotapes. Just look it up. That'll consume your whole afternoon. But anyway, yeah, he was one of the voices of my childhood. Like, honestly, when I first got into wrestling, sad to see him go.
I feel like he could be over the top, but I also feel like he loved being there and wasn't just something he was being paid for.
Yeah, he didn't make it
going over the top. I feel it worked.
I didn't feel like he was ever winking at us,
Yeah, right.
Like I always hate that when it's like they're over the top and then they're like, "Oh yeah, look at this, what I'm doing." It's stupid, isn't it? Like, yeah, we get it. It's corny.
I would say also that Sean Mooney was also damn good, but in the more serious way.
Yeah, he was. Very different style, but
yeah,
yes, I liked him.
I think they were huge contractions. You get great compliments to one another, but just seeing him here though, I really felt like, he's. Hold on, sorry, I don't know what the hell I said to activate Bixby. Anyways, I just felt like he really cared and he got you excited for the event. Like,
yeah, definitely.
His voice was a great voiceover.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I say that because I've heard people say he sucked. I'm like, oh, get lost, man.
Mooney or Pettengill?
Pettengill.
Oh,
yeah. I loved him. I thought he was great.
Yeah, I don't.
He did have some like over the top facial reactions, but like I said, he always kept it about it, and you felt he was genuine. So it's like, screw off.
That was very WWF mid '90s.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was like in that respect, it was perfect.
Yeah.
Like, what else would you expect?
When they brought him
Vince
back
hired him
last
because
year
of
for
that.
In Your House, dude, I lost it. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah, I marked. I was like, Pettengill. But yeah, this package takes us through Shawn hiring Diesel as his bodyguard years ago, Diesel winning the WWF title, losing the title, Shawn winning it at WrestleMania 12, and then Diesel turning his back on Shawn, ending their friendship. Also, I love Bret Hart, but Todd Pettengill says he, quote, may be the greatest WWF champion of all time. What the hell? No. and you know I'm a big mark for Bret, but no. Just one of the greatest wrestlers, like actual wrestlers to hold that belt? Sure. Yeah, I'll give you that. But whatever. But from the free-for-all, Shawn Michaels says that he's going to celebrate with his clique, which, for those that don't remember, were his fans. That's what he called them. After dancing all over Diesel's face.
That was a tongue-in-cheek thing, by the way.
Right. Meanwhile, Diesel tells Vince McMahon he's got something big for him tonight.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Going back real quick to the start of the Attitude Era, this is like one of the first times I ever heard anybody, I don't know if it's really swearing, but like when Shawn said, I'm going to kick a 7-foot ass.
Oh, yeah.
Like for me, that was the first time I heard someone say ass on WWE.
Yeah, there were a few times where it's like, because I always try to put myself mentally in that time when I'm watching a show.
Oh, I did too. I'm like, where was I when I was watching this? I'm serious.
Yeah.
Like when I watched this, I'm like, oh yeah, I was here. Coincidentally, I lived about 5 minutes away from my current house now when I was watching this. It's funny how it comes full circle.
Wow.
Yeah, like I'm right there with you. Yeah.
Well, because I'm remembering I think it was the very first Survivor Series that I reviewed with Jacob Grandi now in the archives. The build-up package was DiBiase tried to buy the title from Hogan, and Hogan says, "Hell no!" And we were like, "Whoa!" Like nowadays, ooh.
And then when he said that, it panned the crowd. You see the kids there too. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, the kids are like, oh, he said the H word. But now it's
Dude, when I was a kid, I was afraid to say the word stupid. I mean, I'm serious.
Yeah, right. I always, I got a story to tell you off air about that. But anyway, that'll take us into the main event here. But we're going to take our second to last break. And when we come back, we are going to dive into the main event of Good Friends, Better Enemies.
Follow the Main Event Marks at facebook.com/Main Event Marks Pod, on Twitter at Main Event _Marks, and on Instagram at Main Event _Marks and at Main Event Collector. Fubo TV offers you live sports and TV without the overpriced cable. Fubo TV offers 100 channels, live and on demand, plus over 130 streaming in 4K, and a cloud DVR is included. The Fubo TV app is available on all smart devices, so you can watch what you want when you want. There are no hidden fees, and you can cancel anytime. Cut the cord and sign up for your free trial at Fubo.tv today. Fubo TV is a sponsor of the Main Event Marks and Unhinged Sports Network. Main Event Marks are available wherever you get podcasts and on YouTube. Now back to the show.
All right, we're back. It is the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, with Jose Lothario in his corner. He's defending the WWF World's Heavyweight title against Big Daddy Cool Diesel in a no-holds-barred match. It went just shy of 18 minutes. They make sure to show Mad Dog Vachon at ringside, which will come into play later.
This is the one where Diesel, he threw the vest at Vince, right?
Yeah, he takes off his giant
That's an important
vest.
note right off the bat.
Yeah.
It's almost like it was a F you. I'm gone. That was my first note. I'm like,
yeah.
Wow.
Well, they kept playing this up because Vince is getting into it, Diesel's getting into it. They kept playing this up because, like I said, in the build-up, he says something about, Vince, I got something for you tonight. And it's like, why? And I don't think it really comes into play other than this right here. But, if you know, you know, I guess. But either way, Michaels pulls off Spanish announcer Hugo Sabinovich's boot.
running theme, by the way, of this match.
Well, yeah, right. Savinovich, I always laughed because he commentates for AAA now. And My friends passed away. Santiago said, yeah, we always call him Hugo, son of a bitch.
It looks like it.
Yeah, right. But he pulls off Savinovich's boot, and he comes off the top rope and hits Diesel in the face with it. At one point, Diesel chokes out the ref, steals his belt. He probably could have just asked nicely. But he beats up Shawn with it.
That would be fun.
I know. Then he hangs him with the belt over the top rope. Diesel then chucks the Fink aside. What did he ever do? And he steals his chair, and he beats Shawn with it. When Shawn fights back, Diesel low blows him. Shawn continues to get crapped on as he gets jackknifed right through the announce table, sending McMahon's monitors and headset flying. Actually, they focused on him, but I think the Kings got ripped off too. So we were sitting without announcers there for a little while. Diesel then poses with the WWF title in the ring as Shawn fights to get to his feet. Vince shouts, just let it be over. Just let it be over. And Shawn fights to his feet anyway, and Diesel goes for him again, but Shawn blasts him in the eyes with a fire extinguisher. Shawn gains control, but Diesel shuts him down again. Diesel eventually pulls Mad Dog Vachon over the railing into the aisle, and he rips off his prosthetic leg. That's what we were talking about earlier. HBK,
you've seen the Attitude Era.
Right. Then HBK low blows Diesel, takes the leg, something I never thought I'd say, and he blasts Diesel in the face with it. He then nails Sweet Chin Music for the win. Uncle Dave gave this 4.5 stars. I didn't like it quite so much. I gave it 3.5. What say you?
I am right in between. I love this. I gave it 4. I thought this was a brilliant match.
I thought it was really good. These guys always did pretty well with each other. Shawn didn't take a
First
crappy
of all,
looking
Shawn
jackknife
Michaels in
here.
anything is already at least 3.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't think I've ever given a match with him anything less than 3 stars, so, even when he wasn't trying. But yeah, I don't know. This was definitely the match of the night. I mean, no question about it. And yeah, it was good. But after the match,
I really forgot how emotional this match was too.
Yeah.
Knowing what I know now, it's like, wow, you can really see it. Like, this is literally like the end.
Yeah, Diesel went in with an F the world attitude. Shawn went in there with a I'm going to show everybody that I'm the man attitude.
Screw him, I can carry this company.
Yeah, right. It came off really well. Everybody played their parts really great, and it was a really good send-off. Shawn Michaels.
It's crazy to think, by the way, that after this, it would be Michaels and Vader and maybe Ahmed and I guess Warrior, Bulldog carrying the whole company for the whole year.
Yeah.
Because Brett wouldn't come back until 96 or November of this year, 96.
Yeah.
Austin's nothing really yet, so.
Right, yeah, he's an up-and-comer at this point. So, I mean, he just got out of being the ringmaster, didn't he?
Yeah. When's the last time you said Austin was nothing?
I know. That's crazy to think. But after the match, Shawn Michaels celebrates with the WWF title as Vince McMahon loses his effing mind and the pyro blows above the ring. That was cool. He got a good celebration out of it.
I think the last time I saw that much pyro in Nebraska is when someone grew a couple of great stalks of corn.
Good Lord. This was the last pay-per-view appearance, as we mentioned, for both Diesel and Razor Ramon. And even though they lost, Vince McMahon went out of his way to avoid burying them, letting both men have great matches and praising both for their performances. That is true. He did not bury either one of them on the way out. I mean, yeah, they did the job.
Even though Shawn won, I think Diesel shined more in this match personally. But
yeah, freaking Scott Hall or Razor Ramon, whatever. Yeah, he lost, but he was putting over a top guy that they were trying to build. So it's not like he was, jobbing. Wow. So it's not like he was, jobbing out in the curtain jerker to, TL Hopper or something.
I would not have blamed him one bit for no showing that. But.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that one for sure.
Was he, Madonna's boyfriend, Dirty White Boy? Which one was he? Was he?
No, he was Dirty White Boy. Madonna's boyfriend was Louis Spicoli.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so that does it for the show. We're going to take our final break of the podcast. When we come back, we're going to get into the final ratings and tell you what's to come in the month ahead in May. We'll be right back.
Follow the Main Event Marks at facebook.com/Main Event Marks Pod, on Twitter at Main Event _Marks, and on Instagram at Main Event _Marks and at Main Event Collector. Fanatics offers the world's largest collection of official sports apparel and gear from all the leagues, teams, and players that you love, including the NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, NCAA, NASCAR, soccer, and golf. They even offer esports gear for the gamers among us. You can shop by brand, sport, team, or player. And if you sign up for Fan Cash, you get exclusive weekly deals. So head on over to Fanatics.com today. Fanatics is a sponsor of the Main Event Marks and Unhinged Sports Network. The Main Event Marks are available wherever you get podcasts and on YouTube. Now back to the show.
All right, we are back. Final ratings time. IMDb gave this 6.4 out of 10. CageMatch.net gave it 6.04 out of 10. I give it 6 out of 10. Well, 6.5 out of 10, I'd say. So, C minus, D plus, somewhere in there. It was, I don't know. It wasn't terrible. I'll say that. I didn't hate watching it. What do you say?
I gave it a C plus. I really love the main event.
Yeah.
To me, that alone is worth watching it. But if you were to put this on and fast forward right to the main event, I wouldn't say you're missing much.
Right. Yeah.
But,
yeah.
this was a one-match show, but man, it hit, I thought.
Yeah, and it was very famous for multiple reasons. When Conrad Thompson asked Bruce Pritchard about this, I specifically remember he said it was Mad Dog Vachon's idea. He was like, "Take my leg, use my leg." And he's like, "All right." It's like, well, if it's not like they came up to him and was like, "Hey, you mind if we rip off your leg and use it?" No, he was like, he was there and he wanted to be a part of it. And they said he loved every minute of it because he could be a part of the show again, A lot
of old guys getting their asses beat in the Shawn Michaels era between him and Cornette, Jose Lothario.
Right. Oh, there's got to be more that we're missing here. Who are we missing? That might be it.
Top of my head, I don't know, but
yeah. I mean, I guess they weren't old, but I guess you could count the Over the Hill Hart brothers. So I don't know. But anyway, the
one with the poor mustache might have been old. He looked it, but
yeah, Keith, I think. Yeah, he was older. The tag title match was fine. It was, it wasn't terrible. Vader and Razor was watchable. I feel like the second half of the match was really, it was pretty good. The opener, I liked it a lot more than Greg did, but it was what it was. But like Greg said, it was basically a one-match show, so whatever.
And it's that's not bad either when it hits, and this hit.
Yeah,
I thought so. Sometimes a one-match show could be hit or miss, and it wasn't that great. Nope, right. I thought this match delivered.
And it's not like you had to sit through a 4-hour show to get to it.
Right.
It's like, you paid $15, you got 2.5 hours of content and a really good match to top it off. It was worth that money. So that does it for that. But next week, well, I guess we should just tease a little bit of May here because we've been talking about the In Your House. But next week we're going to WCW. We are going to Super Brawl 1 that took place in 1991.
Which yes, was in May.
Yeah, that threw Greg off. He was like, "Wait, Super Brawl was in May?" I said, "Yep." I think it was the only one that took place in May.
It was. I always thought it was created for because it's in the same month as the Super Bowl, but.
Yep. But nope, this one was headlined by Ric Flair and Tatsumi Fujinami, who I believe was the IWGP champion at the time. Ric Flair was a WCW champion at the time, so.
Was it WCW? It was the NWA. It was 1991, so I don't.
They might have still been calling it and the NWA title at this time. I know they transitioned. It was owned by Turner, and they were officially calling it WCW, but they might have still called it the NWA title. I can't remember. But that is May 5th, Super Brawl 1. I'm looking forward to watching that just for that match.
It's Cio de Mayo, so of course I'll be eating tacos during it. So.
Yeah, Ariba. May 12th, we're going to get into the sequel to this. It is WWF In Your House, Beware of Dog.
1 and 2.
Yeah. because that was the night the lights went out because of a gigantic electric storm. And yeah, they wrestled more than half the card in the dark for the live crowd, and then they redid the matches that were not televised. They redid them the next night on Raw for free. So there's that.
No. They would do a whole nother pay-per-view, and you get that pay-per-view for free on Tuesday night.
Oh, was it on? Okay, I thought they did it on Raw.
No. They talked about it heavily on Raw. Well, the lights went out last night, so if you ordered it, you're going to get tomorrow night free. You're going to see the rest of them. So.
Huh. Well, how about that? Well, I stand corrected. But either way, it is a 2-night event. It was, they literally were like, can we have a mulligan?
If I may have another volley.
You're right. We need another Caribbean strap match, sir.
I like how that's the one.
Oh, yeah, of course. It's Steve Austin versus Savio Vega, which I feel like happened 5,000 times during this era. But either way.
We'll get into it, though.
But. May 19th was
Don't
NWA.
Say that date.
Oh, my gosh, I forgot about that crap. But May 19th was we were covering NWA Capital Combat 1990. For those that are wondering, what's the significance of the show? RoboCop was there. Oh, yeah.
This brings back some memories, man.
I'm sure you marked the hell out for RoboCop.
First of all, who'd he save? So there's that.
Yeah,
so,
right.
But yeah, and I love RoboCop to this day. So hell yeah, I marked it out. Looking back, I see how stupid it was, but I mean, I still remember it fondly.
Hey, dead or alive, them heels were coming with him.
Right.
And then, the May bonus show. It was originally we had to call an audible here because we were originally going to cover the first ever Saturday night's main event. It took place in May of 89 or no 87. Maybe it was earlier than that.
86 actually.
Okay, we're both wrong. 85.
Okay.
It was May of 85. So
it was right after WrestleMania. I thought it was after WrestleMania 2. Okay, right after WrestleMania 1.
Yeah. So that's we were going to review that, but they have not uploaded.
I'm like a year old by this time.
Yeah, right. They haven't uploaded any of the Saturday night main events to Peacock yet, which
I say we call an audible and do it if at the time of recording it's there.
Yes, because I'll tell you what we are replacing it with, supposedly. But that as of now, we're going to say that it is not the show. But if it pops up on Peacock before we got to record, then it'll be that. If it is not on Peacock by then, we're covering ECW's Hardcore Heaven 2000. That one is headlined by Lance Storm and Just Incredible. And I believe it's Lance Storm's last ECW show. It's against his tag partner, Just Incredible. So 2000 didn't totally suck in ECW.
My opinion, 2000 was their best year. I don't know what that's saying, but 2000 was the best year.
Not a lot. But, yeah. But anyway, and then May 26th, to close out the month, we're going really old school, AWA Super Clash 2. So we have, now in the archives, we have Super Clash 3.
Where was this? Was this at the Cow Palace?
I don't remember. Yeah, one of them was. I can't remember if it's the last one or.
Actually, I think it might have been the last one.
This one was at the Cow Palace. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It took place May 2nd, 1987, in Daly City, California. This one was headlined by Kurt Hennig and Nick Bockwinkel for the AWA title. So that alone should be worth the watch. We have previously covered Super Clash 3, now in the archives. It wasn't the main event, which was weird, but it was headlined by Jerry Lawler and Kerry Von Erich in a title unification match for the WCWA and AWA world titles. That show was an interesting watch, I'll say.
Yeah.
That is that for May. One more time, we are sponsored by Fubo TV and Fanatics. Links are down in the podcast description. Please, if you are listening on a podcast feed, please subscribe and leave a 5-star review. I would very much appreciate it. So would Greg. Give all your love to us. And
I also need to say something real quick about it. Unhinged. I got a message from somebody who didn't realize it's free.
Really?
I think I don't know, maybe they don't advertise enough that they're free. And that's not a shot or anything. I'm just saying people don't know that this is free. Someone messaged me, goes, "Hey, I would listen, but I can't afford to pay for the Unhinged Network." I'm like, dude, there's no charge. So
it's internet radio,
kind of
yeah.
Disconnect, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
It's free. So
yeah, right. It's just internet radio. You just go unhingedsn.airtime.pro or unhingedsn.com, and it's all free right there. It's just internet radio. That's all it is. You don't have to download an app even. Just go to the website on your phone's
browser. It's a lot more convenient this way.
Yeah.
I mean, I would honestly, if I'm being selfish, I prefer the download number, but whatever helps. But you could just listen to it like a radio, so that's cool.
Exactly.
Too.
Yeah, and there's a ton of other great shows on there that cover. There's hockey shows like Two for Chirping. There's In the Marbles, which is a NASCAR show. Far End of the Bench. They cover a bunch of.
So clearly they cover not just sports; they also cover NASCAR. But
for God's sake. But yeah, there's just a metric crap ton of sports shows all over. There's time to BS, high-low sports. Just giving shout outs here to all the great dudes on the Unhinged Sports Network. Again, we air at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific on Wednesday, Thursday, and Monday, and at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 p.m. Pacific on Wednesday as well. So we get an immediate replay after we air live. So we're doing it live.
Epic.
But anyway, thank you for joining me today, Greg.
Mm-hmm.
We will see you all next week for Super Brawl.